guys. Welcome back to this week's episode. This is your lovely host, Vaughn. This is She Talks Life Podcast. I am here every Tuesdays and Thursdays where we discuss anything from politics, socioeconomic norms, breaking down barriers of what society tells us what life is supposed to look like. And so, if you are interested in this podcast, you love this podcast, you really want to let everybody know that this is one of your podcasts that you listen to religiously, go ahead and share this podcast with your audience and tell them to find me anywhere that they listen to their podcast. In this week's episode, and actually in this episode, we're going to delve in the art of being disliked. That is today's topic. It has come to my attention that I'm seeing it a lot on social media, and especially on like the short form content, not so much as like YouTube, because YouTube's been around for a while, and YouTube has been the platform or the capital where they tend to weed out all the negative comments and so forth. They give you a little bit more free reign to set those negative comments to hide in purgatory. And so, you really find that people ignore them more so on platforms like YouTube. When it comes to TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and, all the other social media platforms that are like more like short form content, which is like really quickly to kind of give you that, like they call it the Twitter fingers, you find yourself falling into this depth of being disliked. And so I was putting together my reading list for the year, preferably for the month of January. And one of the books that I did come across on someone else's reading list was called The Art of Being Disliked. And I was like, something that would be a great podcast topic to discuss, because I see it so much, and it's like the person who is being disliked on the opposite side, on the receiving end, sometimes, to me, I feel like they give too much power to all the negative comments, and then they forget about the positive comments that come along. And it really skews my thinking of when they say things like, that doesn't bother me, but me being a life coach, me helping you through some heavy parts of your life as you try to navigate it. One of the things that I had to go through was trying to figure out if I was likable, or, even in my personal life, especially when I try to make friends or be with people who I call friends, I always wondered, am I the likable person? Do they like me? Are they hanging around me just because of this or just because of that? Like, what is it about me that gives off likability? And so when you think about it, you might be thinking, oh, this person likes me because this person is cool with me. But in the offset, that person might really truly dislike you, but they like what you subscribe to or ascribe to. They like what you look like, they like what your life looks like, and so they will attack you behind the brass walls of the internet and the interweb, but in reality they want to be you. So, in today's episode, we're going to explore the dynamics surrounding the art of being disliked. We're going to talk about the psychology and societal factors that contribute to one's aversion. We'll uncover the value of authenticity in a world that often encourages conformity. And we will navigate the complexities of personal boundaries, the impact of social media, and the empowering journey towards self acceptance. Ultimately, questioning whether being disliked is a consequence or a conscious choice. Okay, we're back. Let's jump into today's topic. Like I was saying earlier in the introduction, is being disliked is something that's going to happen, right? People will like you, some people will hate you, some people will just downright don't give a damn about you. They don't know nothing about you, but they definitely will form their opinions based off whatever you've shown them, and it's usually based off what they've seen. So they don't personally know you, but they dislike you right off the bat. And I've seen it on some popular social media platforms, especially Instagram. Like, the popular girls, Jackie Aina. She's been around for many years. She started out on YouTube doing makeup. She's elevated her life. She's changed her mindset from what she used to be with. And then she elevated and got to a status where she's showcasing the parts of her life that she feels is aesthetically pleasing, and she's curating this look on social media, and oftentimes she gets a lot of backlash. Now, Jackie is not perfect because no one is perfect. However, I find, and she's a perfect example, because even when she was on Twitter, she got a lot of hate. There was a lot of backlash, and she deactivated her Twitter account. I follow Jackie. I followed her on YouTube because that's where I found her learning how to do my eyebrows, and she taught me how to do my eyebrows. She taught all the black girls how to level up their makeup, how to look good, and and she's always been this high maintenance person. She's never like dim her light. And that's something that I really appreciate about Jackie, is the fact that she's always been true to herself, and she's never really dimmed her light for anyone. Then you have people like Aaliyah J, Diara, the popular YouTubers that have kind of branched off to now all the other social media platforms. Now, if you're on TikTok and you never went to YouTube to see these people, when you see their content on TikTok, your first initial thought is, oh, they doing too much. Oh, they doing this, or they doing that, because you do not recognize that that's who they are, right? You don't know anything about them. So you've already formed this opinion of them. And so on social media, it becomes this concept of being disliked because it's intertwined with the pursuit of popularity and validation. Those are the two key words that you're going to hear throughout this podcast: popularity and validation. Twitter has told us that if you get the blue check, that validates that you have some kind of status. Now, you get in your blue check head, and then you start making it seem like, oh, wow, I'm better than you, because now you're popular. Now you've gotten the validation from Twitter because you had that blue check. Then Elon Musk came and said, fuck that, pay for this shit. And everybody that paid the little premium, whatever, I don't know the price on there, now has a blue check. So now the people who got the blue check for free because they had the followers, they had this, they had that, they got the popularity, the validation, now they feel like they went down a notch and they're not on the same scale. They're like, what the fuck? So they're like angry about it. But the platform's dynamic is usually driven by likes, shares, and any kind of comments, right? That's how you become popular, and that's where you get your validation from. However, it can also amplify the fear of rejection or disapproval too, because you put out your best product, your best creative self, and somebody comes and tears that motherfucker down because what? They don't understand. When you don't understand something, you are always negative with it. You never want to be positive about it. You always reject it because somehow you can't resonate with what that looks like. So there was this thing where Jackie, going back to Jackie on Twitter, she started showing her towel warmer and her steaming her sheets and stuff, and then she got this whole big, oh, I know she don't do that all day. You do not know that. You do not know what Jackie does in her house. You have no idea what anyone does in their real life, because their authentic self is outside of that little clip you see in social media. They're just showing you a part of themselves, and we go right ahead to attack. We reject it, we dislike it, we feel like, oh, they doing too much, this person Oh, even with the Telfar bags, you were hearing people say things like, "Oh, this person is this bags is cheap. Why would we support that? He need to come down because he's black." It's like this disdain for those of color, I believe. And we're going to bring race into it because I've noticed that it has stemmed from the your color, right? Your skin tone, your skin color, because the whites will never get that backlash from their other counterparts. But oftentimes I notice that the person that is being rejected or disliked is being disliked by the people that are the same skin color as them. It hits harder when that person is the same skin color as you, because someone has always said skin folk and kinfolk, and it is so true. So when you put yourself out there, right? When you decide to put yourself out there in the spotlight or in the front of the camera, and you start to do, get on the trend and the bandwagon and all this stuff, most of the time what you see is, oh, that fear of the disapproval. You don't know these people. You don't give a fuck about who these people are. You have no idea who these people are. You shouldn't worry about what they feel about you. And most of the time, I know words hurt. It is a process. You will have to work through it in therapy, but there's some little things that you can do, changing your mindset, going with good intentions, that okay, that person is a hurt person. Because some of the shit that I see in the comments of some people's videos, I be like, damn, what's wrong with you? Like, you need a hug. Like what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so consumed by this person's life? Like the picture and keep it moving. Like the content and keep it moving. That's what I do. I like the content and keep it moving. Because what you're gonna do is, one time you're gonna say something wrong to me. If I say something to your post and you respond in a way that I feel like, ooh, that was a little bit abrasive, you ain't got to tell me twice. I keep it moving. I act like I didn't see you and just keep it moving. I don't have to give you my time. I don't have to give you my approval. I don't even have to validate you with my like or my share or anything like that. Also, another thing is, I noticed on social media, people started to really take stock in how they communicate with others that are following them, right? Because you've built the popularity. So now you have those people, and you've built that popularity of off of those people's backs. And the fact that they like you, they've shared your content, they've talked about you, they've engaged with you and all that. And then sometimes you don't even give them 5 seconds of your time to engage with them. There is a norm. There's a majority that I see engage in with content and so forth. And then there's others you realize like they don't even give a damn. Like, you could like it, you could say something, and they wouldn't even speak to you or anything like that. So someone on social media posted the other day and said, I hope in 2024 that content creators realize that they need to engage with their audience, because those are the people that will push you where you need to go. Because if you're not engaging with your audience, why are they following you? Are they following not even a like? You ain't even liking their comments. You're not even saying like, hey, what's up, or thank you. You're just ignoring them. And so a lot of people responding that was like, yeah, when I see that happen, I just block them. Like, I unfollow them, because that's not why I followed you. I want to engage with you. Most of us are behind a stressful environment, and they use the computer to resonate and connect. Connection is what drives the popularity and the validation. Many users, they strive to present curated versions of themselves, right? And so they're aiming for that approval and that positive interaction. But when they don't engage with their audience, this is when the discussion around authenticity and self-expression also has traction, that can challenge the traditional emphasis on likability. So basically, it's just saying here, like, I wrote all this stuff down, by the way. I take notes so that I know what I want to talk to you guys about and pinpoint on. Likability is something that, you have to have when people engage with you. Like, I got on TikTok. I'm still learning. I don't do the dancing or stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out what my niche would be on TikTok, because I am a service creative, right? I want to talk about life and stuff on the mic. I don't want to be like dancing and doing all that stuff. I want you guys to really see who I am as a person. So I'm sharing that, right? So as I'm on Threads, which is where I'm loving right now, like my current social media platform is the Instagram equivalent to Twitter. And it is amazing. I've met some amazing women on there. You know, I engage, I share content about life coaching and mindset coaching and how you can really boost your energy and your ability to change and, you know, just give you little tips and tricks on there. And it really helps me define my niche more because I am a mindset coach and I'm also a wellness coach. So as I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing how things go, there are people that I'm starting to connect with. And, you know, I don't really, leave comments or look for that likability, because I know they like the likability. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready yet for me to boost up and do all that because I'm still learning. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing on TikTok, but I'm on there. But likability gains you the validation, right? And so social media, it brings along this dislike because it's starting to evolve more as you start to get more recognition and the importance of genuine connections so that you can be accepted. And that's not everyone. Everyone's not going to resonate with every individual online at all. So you're going to have the people that are like you, they're going to have the people that dislike you. It's how you present yourself. If you present yourself as a negative person every time someone makes a simple comment that you don't like. And I brought up Jackie because I find with her in the beginning, because I unfollowed her from Instagram and I also unfollowed her from uh I think Twitter. Like she has two accounts, Lavishly Jackie, and then she has the Jackie Ina account, which was her original one. And I remember she had something on there, and she was getting bashed for a lot of things, right? So let me kind of build this for you because I want to talk about how we don't recognize the good, but we focus so much on the dislike. And so that's why the art of being disliked is so important because we want to be so fucking likable that we forget that not everybody is going to connect with us and we have to go away from it. We have to give ourselves grace so that we do not become consumed by the fact that we're looking for this popularity and this validation. So she was getting a lot of backlash. And then she posted something where about her house and it was like a vase or something. And I believe I asked her where'd she get her vase from or something like that, right? Because that's the goal is when you post in those things and people comment and they're asking you that. But I think because you were getting so much backlash and all this stuff, you don't recognize in those comments the true intentions of others, and so everyone gets the gun. You shoot up the club all the way straight through because you're not funneling through the real content or comments. You're funneling through the negative. You're feeding off of the negative so you have something to say about people not liking you. But in actuality, here's my take on it and something I've talked about in therapy. I don't give a fuck who likes me. I really don't. I don't care who likes me because at the end of the day, this is my life and I have to live it the way I choose to live it. So if you choose to steam your sheets and warm your towels every day, stand on that motherfucker. Do not feel attacked because some other woman says, "Oh, I don't think that she does that every day." That's their opinion. That is not a fact. They don't have a clue what your life is like behind your little 5 minute or 10-second video. One person on social media that I truly admire and really love to see her content is Jaleesa Vaughn. I have commented on her posts, telling her how wonderful this picture look or that look. And I've noticed, she responds, she'll say, thank you so much, all that stuff. And I don't need a whole conversation, but the acknowledgement, it makes you feel good when the people that you've connected with, you've followed for so many years, they respond to you. It makes you feel great, like you've been seen. And a lot of times that's all we want, is to be seen by those we admire. And I think that with Jackie Aina, like it bounced back and said, "Oh, this person isn't accepting comments or something like that." And I was like, "What does that mean?" So she put her comments on like restricted, where a certain amount of people can comment. And so I was like, okay, I've seen this about you. I've seen a lot of people say this about you in so many ways. Like if you dislike something or you disagree with her, she tends to block you or do this stuff. And I was like, here's the thing. If you are a girl who wants a yes woman next to you, something's internally wrong with you. Something is internally wrong with you because you are afraid to be disliked. And so if there are people that are agreeing with you on every stance that you take, those are the people you're going to keep around. But here's the thing, they're not real friends. They're not really there for you. They're not there to support you, guide you, help you through the tough times. They're not true, valuable friends. You might get one of them that truly is there for you, but they tell you the truth. The person that sticks around that tells you the truth, and you don't want to hear what they have to say, but you actually are listening, that, oh damn, she was right. It felt harsh. It felt a certain way, but she was true. Those are the ones that you'll have to weed out, and they'll be there and they'll get connected. I just feel like as social media evolves, we are seeing more and more disdain for things from creators, especially, you know, how we even come out of it, right? How we navigate social media away from our real life. Like as we grow in our real life, social media is just a piece of it. It's not the full context of it. So at the end of the day, I think if we don't get the likes, if we don't get the comments, if we don't get the shares, that doesn't mean that we're less than. It doesn't mean that we don't stand out amongst the others, right? Because there's growth and room in the room for everyone. There's space everywhere, and you can take up space. Don't make yourself small. Just go ahead and take up that space, because at the end of the day, one of the things that I had to learn a long time ago, when I was like, why me, why me, why me? Like, I am so afraid to be expressive and talk and get, share with people, but I have so much to say. And when I'm out and about, I share. Like even my sister had made a comment one time, because I have this tendency where I'm at the store, and if I'm in the makeup aisle or something like that, and somebody comes around and they're looking at makeup, and you get that familiar look, because they want to talk, they want to ask a question, and they be like, "Oh, your makeup looks really nice. Like, how'd you do that?" or stuff like that. I do it too. I'm not an eyeshadow girl. So when I go into like Sephora and I see some of the girls with some really nice, cute eyeshadow on, I be like, "Oh, I want to do my eyeshadow. Like, you need to show me how to do that." And we strike up a conversation. I am the conversationalist. I will strike up a conversation about anything and everything when I am out and about. And it really warms my heart when people talk to me, or they engage with me, because here's the thing. I do not know how that person's day started out. I do not know how that person's day is going to go. And I do not know how that person's day is going to end. So when I have that moment to have that little engagement with that person, it makes me feel like I've done a service, right? I've shared some conversation with a person who probably maybe got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, or, didn't really know like how the day was going to go. And just a quick little conversation, and boom, that's it. It happens a lot, especially even when like I'm walking my dog, and I see other people walking their dogs, and we talk, we go to the dog park. A lot of times people engage with you in conversation, and they just want to, it's just a kind of the way the world works, right? Is that we want to have that connection. And so if we take away um the negative part of looking at what dislike means, because dislike is the negativity, right? It's all a negative connotation. But truly, the art of being disliked is you have to not give a fuck and just do you. That's it. That's simple as it goes. Like, you cannot allow others who do not know you personally, who haven't broken bread with you, to make you feel less than, disliked, unpopular, unrecognizable. Because oftentimes, right, what I notice on social media, because someone has built this ideology that you are only rich if you are a creator, or you only look like you got money if you are a social media content creator. But in actuality, some of these people who are showcasing their wealth now, or showcasing their where they got to, not taking away from the struggle that they got to, they often forget that they are not on the real wealth path or pattern that some others who don't showcase a lot of shit, because luxury is very quiet. People who have money are very dirty and nasty. Their clothes don't look like, Louis Vuitton and all that. People with money tend to invest in the stock market, look at different things, buy different shit, have different hobbies. Like, if you like Jay Leno buys all these different cars because that's his thing, that's his hobby, and he has all this. Jerry Seinfeld, the same thing. They have money, but they're comedians, but they were also broke as well, and they got on the track. But they don't come off and be like, oh, look at this Audemars, or this or that. They're not on that level or status. And it's so interesting when I see people think that ordinary people are broke because they don't have popularity of validation on social media. You got to stop thinking along those lines. You cannot assume that people are broke because they're not showing their lavish lifestyle like you are. You can't assume that, because some of them might even be richer than you. Simple, right? Some of them might be richer than you. And when I talk riches, I'm talking also riches in themselves, because a lot of times you can have a lot of money, but you could be the worst bitch in the world. And I'm not calling anybody that, but I'm just saying your personality speaks, right? Your likability. So if people don't like you because you're a bitch and you've been doing certain things, yes, you will start to get the dislike. You start to get the dislike when they can't connect to what you're putting out. If they're seeing this um this not being authentic, they don't think you're being your authentic self, they're not going to connect with you. I've seen it. I'm understanding it more and more the more that I'm out here on on the social media platforms and stuff like that. And then when it comes to the psychology of it, right? The psychology of not being liked is the fact that, you know, here's the thing. I might like green apples, you might like red apples. Does not mean that the apples are bad. It just means that we both have different tastes. It's all about preferences. It's all about taste. It's all about what you've put in your mind of, this is what I like. So you might not warm your towels, you might not steam your sheets, but the other person doing it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just that that's their preference. That's what they like. And so we have to understand the dynamic of, how to be liked, if that's what we're going for. And then if we're being disliked, don't take it so personal, because you don't know those people either, right? They don't know you and you don't know them. And that's where the issue comes in. That's where the issue comes in, because when we focus so much on somebody giving you a less than nice compliment, or even, making some kind of suggestion, because a lot of times y'all don't like constructive criticism. You do not. You know why? Because in your mind, you feel like we're attacking you if we give constructive criticism. If you say, hey, do you like my shoes? And I said, they're not my style, but they look cute on you. That's me saying I wouldn't wear those because it's not my thing. It's not what I like. But doesn't mean that they look bad or something's wrong with them. It's that your style and my style are two different things. We've got to realize that we're not all the same. We're not the same people. We have different mindsets. We have different boundaries, different balances, different thinking, different expectations of the world and society and what it is all about. It's because of who we are as a person. What matters to me is not going to matter to someone else, and vice versa. For me, I want engagement. If I'm going to put myself out there in front of the social media platforms and, expose my walls and break down that barrier so people can see the authentic me, I'm going to expect some kind of dislike. I'm going to expect that something doesn't resonate with others. The problem that I see is how some people say things and how others say it. So for what I mean by that is I have a beauty channel on YouTube where I do synthetic wigs and I talk about it from the perspective of I'm not a wig influencer. I'm just a girl who likes wigs, who likes makeup, who likes all these things, and I want to show you that if you get a wig out the box and you have no wig experience, how you can finesse it to make it look like what you want it to look like without the whole hoopla that they give you, the cuts and the edits. And then you get the wig and you be like, well, damn, my wig don't look like that because you didn't pluck your wig and you didn't do that. I digress, but that's my channel. So there was a wig that I bought with my own money, no sponsorship or anything like that. I bought it from a link on Instagram from the website that was showcased in this particular wig. And so when I got the wig, I automatically saw that the wig was not the same wig. Absolutely not the same wig that they were showcased in. They put the wig out there, the girl put it on her head, and boom, she did that. And I was like, ooh, that's nice. And I went ahead and ordered this wig, bought it with my own money, was okay with buying it with my own money. And then this one comment was like, oh my God, that looked horrible. The girls on that got the wig, they tinned it out. That's not what my channel is about. My channel is about me showing you that you're being scammed for money from a wig company that is giving the people who are being influenced the wrong shit. That's what my channel is about. It's to break down that. Like, so Bethany Frankel, and I'm glad that this is a topic right now because Bethany Frankel has done a interview talking about her being on, blowing up on TikTok and her whole stint on the Real Housewives, and she made a good point about her finding her niche because we know Bethany Frankel as a chef. We know her from the Real Housewives of New York. We know Bethany Frankel from her own personal spinoff with her ex-husband and her daughter Bryn. And then we know Bethany Frankel from Skinny Girls, where she built this brand and sold it for millions and millions of dollars. And then here she comes on TikTok and starts to tell you about makeup, and she breaks it down where I'm not trying to sell you a Christian Dior makeup when you could go to the fucking Dollar Tree and buy a makeup that looks kind of the same, gives you the kind of same output. It's all about technique and envisioning what it would look, knowing the skin color and the what blends with your skin tone. Like, that's what Bethany did. She took her TikTok and kind of broke down those barriers, right? To let people know you don't need to have the expensive stuff to look good, but you can still put yourself together with these products from these stores. It's okay to buy them from the drugstore. It's okay to go to TJ Maxx. It's okay to do this, that, and the third. So when I started my beauty channel, that was my idea. My idea was to show people who make it seem like, oh, this wig comes out the box. I got to learn all this technique about plucking to put it on my head, to come and tell you, buy this wig, and when you get this wig, it's not what you paid for. So I made the comment of, I could respond to this negative comment because it came off very negative, right? Other people said, hey, Yeah, I see what you're saying, but yeah, it needs a little thinning out. It doesn't look good. It looks like real thick. There's an art to how you speak. Speaking to people, I was like, "Damn, girl, like who hurt you?" That's how I looked at it. I was like, "Oh wow." That's how you. Now I see why Jackie Ina blocks people. Now I see why celebrities block people, because you think you have the authority, the audacity to just speak to people anyhow. I like constructive criticism. If you came on and said, "Oh no, girl, yes, that wig looks like shit," but maybe tinning it out or like doing it, and yes, it doesn't look nothing like the wig, because that's what I said in the title. This is not what I ordered, what I ordered versus what I got. So basically, because you felt like you wanted to tear me down, that was the way you spoke to me. And sometimes I realize a lot of the times people of color are not really thinking before they even type or speak. Oftentimes they're just aggressive with it. And it's kind of like, did you really necessarily needed to be that aggressive with your comment? Like when you opened the app and you saw the video and you began to write, was it like, I didn't know you? I don't know you personally, but you were speaking to me like if we knew each other, and you were like, "Girl," like it was just like an attack. I deleted the comment because I thought it wasn't necessary to leave those things on my YouTube page. But at the end of the day, I say all this to say it's like, I'm okay with you disliking the video and keep it moving. I'm okay with constructive criticism. What I'm not going to be okay with is to feed into those kind of comments, because I have boundaries. I'm going to place boundaries of my content. I'm going to place boundaries on my podcast. If you don't like the podcast, there's a thumbs down button. Thumbs it down. If you give a comment, you leave a review and say, "Oh, this podcast is all over the place," or "I don't really know what this podcast is about." That's okay. You can do that. You can leave your comments. You can do whatever. But I will set boundaries. If I feel in my body like that truly triggered me, and that's where triggering comes in, especially when you're talking about therapy and how people react to others. You are fucking triggering people, and you have no idea that you're doing that when you dislike them, or you say something to them in a disliked manner or a very mean off-handed manner. Like, that little comment, people be like, "Oh yeah, you look good in those kind of wigs, but I prefer you in this." Because I got that from my sister-in-law. She was like, you look good with short hair. I like when you got short hair. I don't give a fuck that you like when I wear my hair short. I don't like short hair. It's not my thing. That's not my signature look. But I don't give a damn if you don't like it or not. I'ma still wear these motherfucking wigs, because that's what I like. Like, think about how you've approaching people. Think about when you start to dislike something of a person. You gotta step back and ask yourself, why do I really dislike it? Do I dislike it because, yeah, it didn't look good, so I didn't like it? Or do I dislike it because I don't like that person? That person is doing what I can't do. That person is opening up a door that I want to walk through, but I don't know how to do it. I'm going to tell you this. Oftentimes, the people that dislike your shit, they want to be you. They want to be where you're at. They just feel like you too loud with your richness, or your aspect to be bold and vibrant and speak who you are and show people that you're not afraid, and you're taking up space, and you're not afraid to be in the room. I'm not afraid to be in the room. I am the only black executive on my leadership team. Top fucking top. And I'm the only black person in that room. But when I walked in that room, they all walked around the corner and was like, "Oh my God, hi, how are you, Vaughn? I was so glad to finally meet you in person." Because I take up space. I do not shrink myself for anyone. I refuse to do that. I've set boundaries. I've worked hard. I have several degrees on my wall. I am established in who I am as a person. And so, yes, I will not condone the dislike, because the art of being disliked is to know that it's okay if they don't like you. Somebody else is going to find you. You will find your people. Your people will find you. And the same thing with this podcast. My people will find me. And on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It was great to talk to you guys about the art of being disliked. This topic is not going to go away. I might bring back some more of this topic and more in depth as I go through and, kind of do a roundup. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, because it really speaks to a lot of things that we're seeing now. And here's something I would leave you with. If you are on social media or even in everyday life and you realize that something that you see doesn't really resonate with you, it's not like your cup of tea, you don't have to bash people or anything like that. You can ignore. It is okay to ignore what someone else is doing because it doesn't align with who you are as a person. That's all I have to say, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.